is going on, guys? We are here Tuesday, June 13th. Kids are out of school, causing hate and discontent in everyone's family's lives. But we're here to talk about comic news and pop culture news. It's great to be back. I've been gone for a few weeks. Work, car accidents, all types of good stuff. We took a week off in there in between too, but either way, we're back now, and we have some great show lined up for you tonight. Might be a shorter show. We only have a couple topics, but we've got some good ones. We're going to talk about those horrible conditions that comic creators work in. And we got a little bit of Venom news. But before we get into that, let's bring those comic book panelists in here. His beard is longer than his name, and that's Mr. Bryan McClay from that Beyond Wednesdays YouTube channel.
Getting a little short
you
now.
You shaved it up.
I'm shaving it up, dude. I'm shaving it up. But it's all good, brother. How you
I'm a liar.
Good to have you back.
ComicManAndy.
You meant ComicManAndy, yes. Yes. No. Good to have you back, bro.
I know, man. It's been crazy. Good week, busy week. Tuesday, it's the beginning of the week, but man, sometimes Tuesdays is long as shit. But I popped right out of work down here into the Bat Cave. But that's not let's not hold people up in anticipation for Mr. Rhynoverse himself, Mr. Ryan Hayslip.
What's shaking with the bacon? What's the hizzle and the fizzle? And what's the haps on the craps? Bryan and Bryan, I'm great to see you guys. And McClay, looking as great as always, just like you were last week.
Looking rather dapper.
Yeah. And Wood, well, I'll tell you, you haven't changed a bit in the 3 weeks since I've seen you.
Yeah, still just as fat.
PHAT.
Summertime. Anyways, I told my kids I'm jealous, man. I'm ready for summer vacation myself. But anyways, next up, the hostess with the mostest. I said hostess. But yeah, the person that's gracious enough to host us on his channel, whose beard is longer than his name. I'm not a liar on that fact. And that's ComicManAndy, the man band Panda Bear ComicManAndy.
We got how to push his
push them buttons and come on the screen, El Beardo Hefe.
I'm just gonna hide in the back and let you guys run with it. Look at this. We got Bryan, and Ryan, attorneys at law. Somebody started up and trademarked that.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Been hurt in an accident. Call the law firm offices of Bryan and Ryan. And our other brother, Daryl.
And Daryl.
My brother Daryl.
Yeah,
it's been a couple of weeks. It's good to see everybody back. We're kind of taking it easy tonight, kind of getting into a couple of great topics. One a little bit more difficult to discuss, but this tonight's show is kind of in honor of Ian McGinty and his passing on Thursday, and we'll open up tonight's show with that discussion, that hashtag comicsbrokeme, because it's got a lot of feelings and a lot of emotions behind that.
Yeah, I'm currently looking at the Twitter feed that I'm sure that we're going to get into while looking through this, and it is very interesting to say the least.
Yeah, so you already broke into Breaking Bad on the topic, ComicManAndy. Carry us through. What stuck out? I mean, this isn't the first time you hear about this stuff. And then for those that haven't read the article, I mean, they're talking about, imposing impossible deadlines. And then, they go into the history of comic creators and, just the pressure that they're under to get to create and then make those deadlines, right? And some people, I always say, even my work, you can't always drink from an empty cup, and sometimes it's hard to tell yourself when to stop, especially when you need the money and so forth, right?
Yeah. So for those not in the know, last Thursday, cartoonist Ian McGinty passed away, with his family taking to Facebook to share the sad news, and in doing so, there was a hashtag comicsbrokeme, that trend that kind of started up on Twitter. And it was a lot of writers, artists, creators sharing stories about what's happening within the working conditions and how people are being pushed beyond the human capabilities of trying to keep up. Ian McGinty was touted as an amazing person who always stopped and took time with kids at cons, and very engaging and a really, really lovable person to be around. And the community really rallied behind him. The creator community really rallied behind him. And was trending to bring attention to the working conditions to discuss it. So tonight's show is really an around the horn kind of open topic discussion with everybody to help bring awareness to this, the hashtag, and help bring awareness to the situation. Because I feel like if the people, if we don't continue to talk about it and it's not something that remains on the tip of everybody's tongue and it just becomes an afterthought, then how many publishers or comic book own companies or companies that own comic books will just take a look at this and say, well, shrug and go over to AI art? What's stopping people to go for a cheaper route that's still going to pump out the content twice as fast and at the same quality or greater? So this is one of those things where, man, it's really got to talk. It's got to be talked about.
Well, for people that don't know who Ian McGinty was, he was a cartoonist mainly, right? That really had a certain hustle about him. He was known for his hustle, working multiple jobs at once, trying to get every little penny he could, for his whatever lifestyle he had, working his butt off, basically, is what he was known for. And now it's very interesting because you see like how these hashtag movements take place, and you got a lot of people starting off their hashtag posts with, I didn't know Ian McGinty, but you know what I mean? And they don't really talk about who he was and what he did. So if you can, Andy, kind of talk about some of the stuff that he created and stuff like that.
Ian McGinty, let me just quote right from the article so I don't miss anything specifically. What we were looking at earlier and discussing was Ian McGinty is known for known for work such as Adventure Time, Rick and Morty, and Invader Zim, as well as original comics as Welcome to the Sideshow, Glint, Hello, My Name is Poop. Hello, my name is Poop. I would have bought that in a heartbeat had I seen that at a comic shop. His mother confided the news on Facebook, stating that he will be deeply missed and will leave a hole in hearts forever. Words cannot express how much this gentle soul meant to all of us. His last tweet, his final tweet, just states, "I just want to make comics with everyone."
Ooh, that's hardcore, man. Ooh. Ooh. Well, here are some of the interesting things when it comes to social media, right? Now it's become a movement about telling your story, not telling your story about, and I'm not harshing on this. I'm not trying to make these people feel bad for telling their story and stuff, but instead of like talking about Ian, it's become a place to tell your story about how comics and working in comics is hard. Okay. So if you look at all the posts on here, most of them are complaining about how hard it is to work in comics.
And then work somewhere else.
Right. And then the other half are people joking on these people like, quit crying. You know what I mean? So I don't know how to take it. It's very interesting, man. Some of the ones that are taking a lot of heat right now are, of course, like people like Ethan Van Sciver, Eric July. I see a lot of interesting posts about with those guys. Here you go, Ethan Van Sciver. Let's take a look at what he has to say over this. Very interesting. I just had it. I apologize.
One thing I noticed in the hashtags and the stories is, Ian went to SCAD. I noticed there's a lot of great comic creators that came out of that college out of Savannah, right? That art college. I mean, Drew Zucker came out of there from Canto. There's a bunch of people that I didn't realize how many comic creators come from that environment in that school.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Well, how many do you think come from there now? That's a great question.
I mean, I'd be interested to know, because one time I got into a conversation over Drew about it. He's like, "Yeah, there's a lot of people that come." Because for the longest time when I was visiting Savannah, I didn't even know what SCAD was.
So here's from Kurt Busick. He says, so Comics Broke Me is trending nationally. It's worth a look. Comics as an industry has a long history of treating people badly, and it's taken different forms over the years. But it's always going in one form or the other, and he continues to talk about it. Let's see if we can find anybody else that really. Here's Eric July using the hashtag to sell some books. Scott Snyder says, going into Comics Broke Me and what it takes to survive and hopefully thrive in the comics industry. And he sends you on a link over to his Substack. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
It's like, come on, get the fuck out of here. There you go. That's under the hashtag Comics Broke Me. So it's very interesting how it's turning into a social crusade. For people who didn't see the thread posted about Comics Broke Me before, so people are just it's turning into this big huge drama for your mama thing. Gail Simone, okay, I don't feel I get to speak much about Comics Broke Me. I have had some shitty experiences in comics, including some I didn't recognize at the time, but overall I'm very happy and comics have been great to me. I see the pain of my colleagues and it's horrible. And then like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, it's always like you take, something, I don't know. To me, it's almost like fake activism over a tragedy.
Yeah. You're 100% right.
They take something and then they use it to grandstand on their own. I don't know that.
Yeah, I'm
not trying to be
fan
insensitive, but shit.
I'm not the biggest fan of grandstanding, utilizing the passing of an industry creator to grandstand something else, or selling of books, or adding other links. Or I get that there are a lot of people that are ignorant to what happened, or they're ignorant to what happened.
I'm ignorant to what happened.
Right, like how many of the actual creators had direct connections with Ian, but nonetheless, if Ian's passing is the catalyst for positive change within the creator community, so that we continue to improve, or their working conditions improve, and then their work's just going to improve and their lives improve, a healthier, safer place to live and raise your family and take care of yourself is what everybody wants. And doing what somebody loves shouldn't force them into poverty or into scenarios where it potentially takes their life or causes life-altering issues.
So here's something interesting. Here's what Ethan Van Sciver says. You gotta love how Ethan, his way of words. Hashtag comics broke me out of my shell and made me into someone who loves inky, detailed drawings and infinite storytelling possibilities. The rest of this hashtag is filled with people who need to find meaning and purpose in their lives, possibly get meditated. Hashtag comicsgate. Amen. Like, I get it. Nobody should have to get paid shit money to do what they love, but sometimes doing what you love pays shit money.
Yeah, I mean that's why it's called the grind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, some of it you do it for the love of it. You don't do it for the pay. But I understand it's hard to make a living wage. But shit, NFL players at one time had full-time jobs on top of playing in the NFL.
Yeah, and also this isn't the 30s, okay? I get it. Like, Simple and Schuster should never fucking happen.
They dress like it is.
Yeah, Bill Finger, it should never happen. Like, that shit should never happen. It doesn't really happen that much in today's date, now in time. You know what I mean? We have Kickstarter that you can go to and create your own universe over there and make a shit ton of money doing it.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't the fucking 30s.
Yeah. And I don't want to hear Saga creators talking about Comics Broke Me because they don't ever make deadlines.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or Black Mask.
Oh, dude, it's very interesting. It's very interesting. And this just happened, so we're gonna keep, it's kind of just getting hot and heated right now. So
this seemed tonight seemed like a good opportunity to one, honor Ian, his name, and share with John Q public of his passing that may not be aware of it, and also to bring awareness to how that hashtag is being utilized in a fashion that may not be favorable from once it started. But
Is there a cause of death?
I did not find one, and don't know that that's being shared or released. Everything, when you look at a lot of the articles, just says he worked and worked and worked and worked, and it's like you guys said, that grind, and it sounds like he was capable of putting out more work than what most people anticipated.
I'm looking for cause of death. So here we go. Let me just go ahead and do this. Here. The writer and artist had worked on Adventure Time, Bee and Puppycat, and his own show, his own Welcome to Showside.
Bee and Puppycat was a good one.
Yeah. News of McGinty's death was initially posted on social media by his mother. The news has been shared by a fan of Butcher. He published online by his family. Later states he died of natural causes.
Oh, wow.
So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to make light of his situation, but I don't like what you pointed out, where everyone's like, "Yeah, comics broke me. Here's my story," and to distract from his.
Yeah, he seemed like a young cat, man. 38. That's crazy.
38's too damn young.
How
he was that young? That's crazy.
Yeah, I think that's what we're once we find out what he passed from is going to be very interesting. That's going to be very interesting. You know, it's going to be very interesting to find out if it was like myocarditis or something. Okay, on to this next one. Here's something very interesting out of this that I was sharing with Andy before the show. This was posted by Eric Thurman Eric Thurman on Twitter. It says a graphic memoir. Yeah. About 580 pages, including covers, and it's done. So this was something that they did, I guess, back in the 70s. They tried to start a comic book creators guild, and I just thought this was kind of interesting. Look at this: 50% of the fees for first North American publication rights, fees for reprints, fees for foreign first publication rights. 20. So they've. I don't know if this went through or didn't go through, but I think it's pretty interesting. I'd love to know the history on this.
So is like the CBLDF doing anything for McGinty?
That's a great question. Let's take a look.
Or Hero Initiative, or
Publisher issues.
because wasn't that one of Neil Adams' big things? He fought for a lot of those rights for comic creators
and Denny O'Neil, both of them. Yep. Yeah, like they said in the comments on this stuff, that Denny O'Neil got told to work harder by DC Comics, I think, while he was getting ready to go into heart surgery.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot of interesting. No CBLDF stuff for Ian McGinty that I see, so that's pretty interesting, man. No CBLDF stuff for Ian McGinty.
Well, that's what I'm wondering, is like, is there a liability issue on top of these comic creators, or was it the pressure he was putting on himself to be creating?
Exactly.
I mean, it's a tragedy either way, but you know, that's a big part of the narrative also.
So as this guy says, seems like a good time to re-up this summary. I could have never survived without a high-paying day job. So this is how much he says he made on making comics over a 5-year period. Yeah, it's not a lot of money, that's for sure. He thought he was going to do well in 2015 when he made $12,000.
I mean, just like not everyone's a Jim Lee. Just like for every Tom Brady, you got the long snapper.
Yeah.
Well, at the same with his music, like musicians and stuff like that. It's like you play shows, you provide a service to entertainment for a lot of folks, and unless it's like cover music, if you're doing original stuff, you might as well, you're a starving artist. You're going to be putting it out there. It doesn't matter how big your crowd is, and so on and so forth. It's even when you're signed, you're not you're not making money. It takes forever. You have to be you got to think of like all the creators out there. It's just like all the musicians out there that are trying to make a living with something they love. It's really, really few that actually make money with doing things that they love and can live on it. And it's just, that's just part of that, starving artist, is part of that genre. It's hard to make money. And there's a lot of luck involved in too.
Yeah. Well, here's a sad post. It says legendary Denny O'Neil, without whom modern serialized comics might not have existed. Batman wouldn't be Batman. Was told he would be fired if he didn't meet deadline while in heart surgery. Wally Wood said, quote, "If I had to do it all over again, I'd cut off my hands." That's sad, man. That's fucking sad stuff. That's really sad. Here's another one. Do not ever let anyone convince you this. Bill Finger died broke and forgotten. Siegel and Schuster were nearly penniless until DC did an about face. The Hero Initiative has existed for 23 years specifically to aid creators taking advantage by our broken system. Let's see if the
Hero Initiative is doing anything either.
Yeah, let's take a look and see if Hero Initiative is doing anything.
I mean, they gotta do something. They saved Miracles in Breaking 2.
What is the Hero?
Oh, you just had it.
I did?
Yeah. Oh, scroll down. It was there at the bottom of that.
All right, hold on. Hero.
There you go. Found him.
Oh. That's interesting. Look at that. Comic book price guide's got a JTC. What am I doing? Cannabis. Hero Initiative, June 12th. I don't see anything yet. He died on what? June 11th is when he passed, I think, or is it before that?
Thursday the 8th. It looks like on the calendar. Last Thursday.
I don't see anything. Look at that. So both Hero Initiative and
Comic Book Legal Defense Fund.
Yeah, aren't doing anything. They aren't even mentioning him. Like, what the fuck? I thought that's what they were there for. I mean, we could be wrong about this. Don't get me wrong. Here's the other thing. Walter Simonson isn't in a good place. Didn't he just go into a hospital or something like that? Am I wrong about that? No, it wasn't Walter Simonson. It was Barry Windsor Smith. Sorry. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's interesting to see where society takes us these days. We're just riding a wave right now, you guys.
That's unfortunately a very fair comment from Ryan.
Yeah.
So this is hence the idea for discussing this and going around the horn around the table is there's probably a larger portion of the comic community that is not aware of Ian's passing yet and what's taken place over the last few days.
Yep. Yeah, it's a bummer.
It's sad for sure. It really is. I don't know.
Who came up with the hashtag for it? Did you say it was family members?
I don't know.
Or is it just...
That's a great question. I wonder who did come up with that.
Can you, Brian, if you pull up Twitter and go back, can you sort them, organize them by date and find the very first use of that hashtag?
Let me take a look here.
I mean, I can understand a couple of different sides of that, like, pull yourself up from your bootstraps and about working the comic book creation realm. You can't have everybody be Jim Lee. Things aren't going to be easy.
Yeah, but we've come a long way from the pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I mean, that stems back to like depression, the Great Depression area. Now we're in the mental depression area, and the mental health becomes, sometimes it's not just pull yourself up from your bootstraps. But
June 8th, 2023, it looks like Is that what you said, right?
Was yes.
And let's go to June 10th, 2023 and see if anybody used that. No, can't find anything.
No, it doesn't go back when you search Twitter. If you share your screen and search that hashtag and scroll all the way back, does it? I don't tweet, man. I don't use Twitter.
Yeah, it's here's my screen. And I put in search until from 6/8/2023 to 6/10/2023, and I couldn't find anything. So let's try this. Let's go. Hashtag comics broke me.
What if you search just the hashtag comic books broke me? Does it put everything up in a every use, and then you can sort them from by date?
It just says latest, top, people, photos.
Okay, so if you go by latest, it shows latest. If you scroll all the way down, is it ever going to take you to the first use, like all the way back, or does it stop you short of? Shouldn't it load everything all the way back because it's essentially searching for every time the hashtag's used?
Yeah, but it's gonna take forever,
it's
bro.
gonna be a while because you're
Will it?
still
Okay.
in like recently.
Yeah, wasn't a great idea, but
Let's try this. Comics broke me.
You're throwing ideas out there.
Comics broke me.
oh, and it has these hashtags down. You can do specifically the hashtag down. Oh, too far. Right up there you go.
Hashtag comics. Yeah. That.
Man, this is just like a Hardy Boys book, huh?
Right from June 23rd. No, wait, June 8th, right? 2023 to June 10th. Nothing.
Oh well. I thought it would be something easily accessible if you just. I don't tweet, bro.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. It'd be
What if it's
interesting.
just some virtue signaling asshole that had nothing to do with the family just started this hashtag and they all just started sharing stories like
To
totally
be honest, I wouldn't be surprised, bro.
distorting a tragedy.
It was kind of happening already, huh?
See, this is kind of little bit of my concern too, getting outsourced more to artists in third world countries. But what we've been talking about the AI aspect of things the last like 6 months, we've had at least 3 shows where AI art or AI writing has come up, and who's to say Johnny of whatever comic book publisher doesn't just decide to hire a company that starts an AI firm that pumps out content via AI that they'll use at a fraction of the cost and even faster. It makes all the deadlines and is never late.
I also fully realize I'm just spectating from the outside. I have no involvement in that industry, so I can't empathize with it. So
yeah, it's a rhetorical what if, and hope it doesn't really get to that point.
you're an AI.
You're an AI.
I'm just laughing because of Brian's laugh when he saw that pose. You can clip that little laugh that he made. It was perfect, man.
Eddie Haskell laugh.
Yeah.
Speaking of intelligence, you know what else is intelligent? Apparently symbiotes.
Ooh.
Well, apparently symbiotes are taking a whole new turn, eh? So I guess it's funny because I started this topic with the guys and I was like, look, I have something that I want to discuss. And so we're going to kick it off by talking about where symbiotes are today. If we bring up that article, it was just discussing that the symbiote is now, I believe, I haven't read the issue yet, which is, so I'm partially, I guess, not spoiling it because you're finding
it's kind of spoilers for anybody that hasn't read it from the issue was from a week or two ago.
Yeah, and so you have the article. Are you pulling it up or? Oh, sorry. Don't leave me out here to dry. So they're redefining the symbiote. They're Eddie Brock is now or Venom's becoming or I guess it's a combination of Eddie Brock is becoming a human symbiote. And it's just like, it kind of goes to what my original thought was around the Venom. In comics, I don't know of another character that takes on so many different storylines. So I don't know if it's because they feel like they have the freedom because of the character or the way that Venom is to now what are we going to do with them? Let's turn him into a human symbiote. And it kind of sparked, whenever Donny Cates was doing this run, it was awesome. Part of it, was a really good story. He introduced a very cool character. But one of the other things that he really did was kind of flesh out and line out the history of Venom. So up until that, there was so many different hodgepodge stories that had different types of character. They would kind of put Venom in a different light. The overall arching thing, we know Venom is a symbiote from outer space, and he's got is a anti-hero, or he's got good qualities, and then also has good qualities, but it also has like some tendencies to do bad when he first around, along with Eddie Brock, and it combined to, and that was the persona that it was. But Donny Cates it kind of lined out that history for us and kind of gave us, okay, here's the path of Venom, here's where he came from, and kind of set sail what it was what the kind of story to go forward. But if you look at the movie, which is it's loosely based off the comic, I guess you would say, they made Venom come from a different origin. It was from space, and they included out and some of the different things that were already they were including parts of the Venom storyline in the story, but they didn't use the history that was already developed. Like, if you want to add, how does Spider-Man come around? What is Spider-Man's history? He was Peter Parker. We know the whole story. In fact, then nowadays in the movies, they won't even do the whole background because everyone knows what the background is. Same thing with Superman or Thor. But with Venom, it's really pick what is it that you want storyline do you want to go for? Because the movie has something different, the comic has something different. Now they're changing it into where now he's becoming a human symbiote, and then now they have the Spider-Man 2 game that's coming out October 20th. That date was just recently released, and they also said, oh, by the way, Eddie Brock's not going to be Venom, so you're going to have another iteration or another storyline for Venom.
Did they announce who's going to be Venom in the game then?
They haven't yet. Now it's Normie Osborn is probably who it's going to be, more than likely, only because in the last game, Normie was at the end of the game. Normie was in a big vat, like a cylinder of liquid, and he had a mask on. But inside there was the Venom symbiote, because his dad. Who's his dad? If Normie, then you have Norman. Is it a junior? I can't remember. Because you have the son. How the Osborn family work? McClay,
Norman was the original Green Goblin, wasn't he?
Okay, Norman, and then his son is what? What's his son's name?
Norman Jr.
Okay, so Norman was in there, and he was helping his son. His son had some kind of disease or whatever, and he was in a vat, and they're trying to figure a way to cure him. And somehow the symbiote is just up against the glass. So now in the new game, they do show that Spider-Man has the black suit and has a symbiote on him, but Eddie Brock is not going to be part of that. Eddie Brock is in the story because he was in the story in the first one, I believe, somewhere form or fashion. But he's not going to be a Venom in the game. Which when they said that, I'm just like, that's what set it off. I was like, God dang it. I knew they weren't going to be able to just like leave the storyline alone and let you play what you know. You know, it's cool to get, you know, different iterations and different thoughts on it. When you have a game that's as big, you know, you want to play the character as you know. At least I do. I want to play the characters that I know that I read. And I want to be able to like do all the things and kind of have the know what I'm playing and what the background was and kind of know how Eddie Brock thinks. And now they're just going to change that all up. So I just don't know if y'all know of another character that has such a convoluted background and that people keep changing up. And why is it that they keep changing up? Is it because it's easy? It's a lazy way to make it, to use the character, and maybe they don't like the way that it's been written up thus far. And so they're like, oh, well, we'll just change it up and we can still, it's a cool enough character, but I don't like the way he was written previously. So I'll just make my own storyline with it.
Am I wrong for feeling like publishers are basically taking certain characters, hashing them all up into different things, throwing it and throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks? Because I feel similar to how you feel, Ryan. Maybe obviously my scenario isn't as severe as Venom's, but I feel the same way about Punisher over the last 30 years. I mean, generally, they don't really change like his backstory with his family and becoming a Marine to a degree. But over the last 15 years, they have adapted and changed enough of it so that they can make the character more relatable potentially. I'm not going to even sit here and try to explain why they're doing the things they're doing. But I know what you're talking about, where I kind of feel something similar with Punisher, but this is to a more severe degree. I will say this slight change, or this change of them redefining the symbiotes, does have me really interested in getting back into Venom and kind of reading, because what the hell happened? I mean, has he been bonded for so long that it's literally changed his DNA and turned him into a symbiote? I want to know. So I'm kind of excited.
Yeah. So as you read through it, you know, he became the King Black, and he was able to, I mean, they took it to a whole new level, because he was able to basically, he didn't have a body. Eddie Brock didn't have a body anymore. And he was able to warp his mind into any symbiote that was out in the cosmos. And so he could basically be like, if someone, the symbiote's mission was therefore going forward was to be heroes. And when they came across a problem, a symbiote would basically alert, hey, I see a problem. Since they're attached to the hive mind, Eddie Brock would warp him from whatever symbiote he was currently in to the symbiote that needed the assistance. And so it's initially, I mean, in a sense, he didn't have a body per se, because it was his mind, or his, I don't know, spirit, I guess you'd say, was warped into different symbiotes. And so now I guess they're fleshing him out. They're like, well, he's got to have a body now, so it's not working like the way they wanted or whatever. So I guess that's the direction they take. I am behind on this run, simply because it just started getting like they were just really grasping at straws. I've been reading it, and then I started losing interest, then I started gaining interest, and I'm like, golly. And it's just because, you know, like with Punisher, I don't know if it's because the character has been around for a long time, and he has the background that's set in stone. I wish Venom's was set in stone. I wish they couldn't touch it and change it around and try to alter what it is. But with Punisher, it's almost like they're like, well, he's this type of character. So how, and all the storylines have been done for him. So how do we write a new storyline? We have to change something about him in order to write a new storyline. I don't know if it's lazy writing, if it's lack of like originality or a thought process, or what it is.
Yeah.
With the Venom, it's just annoying with Venom, because they keep like, you know, they make new characters, but then no one's as popular as Venom. So then they're like, well, we just got to change him, or we'll go back and rewrite his background. And maybe it is to bring, like you're saying, Andy, maybe it's to bring the readers that don't have a lot of like having reading, you know, every book. So you're like, oh, I'm interested. I want to see what's going on. Maybe that's the reason why they're doing it. But his background, I mean, if you went and wrote down all the different backgrounds from where Venom came from and started, it would be a bunch of them, and it's so hard to tie it to the lines. And when Donny Cates took over, it was all kind of messed up, but he lined it up. He lined everything out, and I was so excited, because I'm like, someone finally took like an iron and ironed out the story and made it nice and crisp, so that people can kind of go forward. And then they're like, okay, that was cool. Let's crumple it up and change it all up again. Sorry. Good
No,
catch.
I mean, it's really good to kind of hash this out. I mean, are we seeing? Think about golden age superheroes. Like, I mean, when a superhero or when your hero or when a character transcends the lifespan of its fandom, what happens? Are we seeing that for Bronze Age and Silver Age characters now? Or as Golden Age, like how many times has Superman been retold or changed or slightly done up? Like how many changes and iterations have they made for Superman over the 80 plus years? Correct me if I'm wrong when that started. I don't know, but it's a long time. Are we starting to see that for Copper and Bronze and Silver Age characters?
Well, Superman is a great example because he's such a popular character, and you try to kill him off, but then he's going to come back because we can't not have Spider-Man in our world, right? So, or Superman in our world. So, but it's like Superman. It's like, yeah, everything's been done. He's so OP that how does he not win things? And so that's the conundrum they're in. But what needs to happen is as they're creating these characters, they try to create a character in a three or four book series, maybe a 5-book series, and they have the storyline where it's a big bad, he kicks Superman's out, they don't know how to do it, but then Superman finds a way, kicks his butt, and he's gone. Okay, great. So they just took a character that they could develop on over a long period of time and then defeat him, and then he's done. And it's just like because it's a new writer or something like that. And I don't know. I said I don't carry the storyline going forward.
Wood, what's your take, man?
I don't have a take. I haven't followed Venom in a while now, so I'm the wrong person to ask about Venom right now.
What do you mean by you were talking about Eddie Brock becoming a human symbiote? What?
So basically, like I said, he doesn't have a body. And so I haven't read the issue yet, but from what I'm gathering is he is now he is somehow creating a body for himself where he was hopping from symbiote to symbiote.
Yeah, instead of the symbiote merging with him or him merging with it, he is a symbiote now, essentially, right, Ryan?
Correct. Yeah, he's basically he was a human at one point, but now he's becoming just a symbiote that it's a human. And if that makes sense, like he's no longer is it an alien that's on him, and his body is gone because it was destroyed or burned up in the story. So his being was just popping in he was using symbiote bodies to have a physical presence.
So now he's taken a symbiote and it's sculpted and he's like Clayface. It makes a body like
he's almost like materializing his own body or something like that.
Yeah.
I have to read the story.
Comics rip off so much off of each other, dude. It's unreal. It's unreal. It's unreal.
That's what I understand. Like, do they need fresh writers or is it like, what would be cool is if I could see, yeah, right. So Symbiote is supposed to have like a partner on it, but I think what they're saying, yeah, I have to read the book to actually see how that would work. But I wonder if they said, gave an AI, here's what we're going to do, but you cannot write a story that is, you cannot write a story that's ever been written before. But here's your parameters of what you can do using Venom and Eddie Brock and so on and so forth.
Well, I'm with Parker. Stories, the forever superheroes getting old, the forever characters getting old.
Great point.
And I agree with that too. I think like Superman, he's had his day. He could have a spawn of some type and then die off. Venom, I was ready for him to die. I thought, man, it's cool. They're going to bookend him, and then they're going to have like his son was supposed to basically carry the mantle along, but they made his son so mentally unstable and jacked up, I guess, that they're like, this is not working out right. I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know why they wouldn't Donny Cates essentially sell like, okay, his son will take over. Where they thought, Eddie Brock's gone and yeah, exactly. GBT chat, do my job, write me a comic. But they say he set up to where they could set sail with his son, and it's just not. I don't know. It's very difficult, and it's just frustrating because I'm like, when I saw that he was not going to be in the game, Eddie Brock, I was like, it's already not as cool because Eddie Brock's not in there. Eddie Brock.
Well, you just answered your question about why can't they just let people die? because people don't want to read it if Eddie Brock's not in there.
But then don't make it Venom. Use a different character. You know what I'm saying? So it could be.
I agree, but that's why, but that's the reason why characters don't die, because we don't want them to. They're stories. That's why story characters have lasted millennia. You know what I mean? Whole.
Let me rephrase that then. I'm okay with Eddie Brock dying and Venom dying, but if he's available if he's available in a story and he's available in the game, then it's obvious he should be what he's been written as. If he dies and he's no longer cool, I'm good with that, because then I can say there's an ending, a bookend, and then what's the new series going to be with the new symbiote, or let me find my new love. Let me have something fresh.
There's not enough room in the market because we're hanging on to old tropes, old superheroes. And I'm not saying that as that's necessarily a bad thing for the end user that wants that. It's a bad thing for the market overall. How many indie titles or indie creators that have a great miniseries that never transcend into a long-term ongoing series because there's only so much room on the shelf, and there's only so much room for creators within jobs. And half of the shelves are Batman and Superman, or the standardized Star Wars and Marvel stuff. Like more than half of a comic book shop is all stuff we've read to the dirt. Just reiterate.
So Lee saying, like, it's obvious. I think it's obvious why kill a popular cash cow. I get it. Like, and that's why one of the problems they do is they make too many new symbiote characters. There's always a new symbiote. I mean, they made Bedlam, who was a version of Eddie Brock, and it's like they have him for a while, and it's just a small character in the whole storyline. But it's like, why not? Okay, they had the perfect opportunity to say, okay, Venom carries on with Eddie Brock's son, who has some tendencies of Brock, but he's got his own ideas on things. And Venom takes on a different looking form. Like when he was Agent Venom, he was looked different. When he was with that I forget who it was, but it could be with Brock's son, and it could look Venom could look a little different. You'll keep Venom going on, and then the character essentially becomes a little bit newer because it's with the son. But Eddie Brock dies; he's gone. He's not going to be coming back. It's like they're going to bring back, like in the movies, they're going to bring back Robbie Downey Jr. as Iron Man, but they're going to use him. He's going to be AI because they just can't get away to figure out he's the reason why that people went to see the movie or whatever. And it's like, no, just end it and be done with it.
Yeah, I mean, some of the best stories have beginnings, middles, and ends. End. Brad says people don't want new characters. I, for one, really do want new characters because I'm ready to. Some of the best shows, some of the best content I've read, the more characters that die, the better it is, and the more I want to return back to that and reread it.
Yeah.
I don't know, but you want to know what we do know?
Yeah, Eddie Brock's that walking through that door. Yeah, exactly. Like there's not going to be, whatever. But yeah. Sorry.
But you know what we do know?
Eddie Vedder symbiote.
There you go, Eddie Vedder. He's better.
Tomorrow's New Comic Book Day.
Because
was it Three Rivers? No, Cosmic One. It's already bridging the gap from Venom over into New Comic Book Day.
A lot of interesting stuff.
Venom. Yeah, the Venom, like who was it? The Extreme Venomverse is coming out with all kinds of new stuff and whatnot, and it's just like, I am a Venom like truest. I only collect Venom. I don't collect Carnage. I don't collect all the other symbiotes because there's just so much with Venom as it is. But I'd be okay if they killed him off completely, and then I could find something new to have fun with.
Yeah,
Michael Keaton.
This is the book everybody's going to be talking about. The 1 in 100.
Sorry.
For Amazing Spider-Man. And there's the color version. I don't know why everybody goes crazy for the 1 in 100s. The color versions are way better. What's going on with
these ads? Is there a symbiote in one of those covers I saw?
What's that? Yeah, there's a Lobos version right here, which I can't tell if I like it or if I dislike it. What the hell is up with these ads showing up here? What's going on here?
What is that? Is that a 1/50 or something? That's cool. I really like that.
Yeah, this is a Lobos variant. I don't know where it's coming from. Probably
Like that Venom right there could be cool in a movie, man. Like more edgier, kind of. I think actually Venom's voice on the movie is kind of goofy too. Honestly, sorry, I'm going fucking tyrant all night.
So yeah, very interesting here. That's for sure. I don't know why I'm getting these stupid ads all of a sudden. It's pissing me off. Battle Chasers is coming out.
Yeah, how many years has this been in the making?
Yeah. There's the Bird City variant.
Nice tush.
Yeah. Batman Incorporated has that 1 in 25 cardstock design variant for the new character, Charles de Gaulle. That's a pretty cool name, Charles de Gaulle. That's a great looking, great looking design. Black Panther #1 has that Raza variant. It's badass. But anything else you guys see out there?
I got to double check. Last week I did not get an email leading me to believe I didn't get comics, but then I ended up getting an email like Thursday night or Friday. And this week it looks like I've got an email, and it looks like it's all Star Wars. It's just Star Wars covers.
I'm not surprised.
I know Ryan's asking about the Souza Micah Haunt You to the End cover.
The what one?
The Souza Micah's Haunt You to the End cover.
Hunt You to the End.
Even
Right there, up there you go.
Ooh.
That's creepy.
Great cover.
Wow.
Too bad
Pasty
Top
face.
Cow.
How now, brown cow? It's a pasty face.
I mean, I remember Top Cow from the 90s. So you got Skybound, Top Cow, and what else? What's the difference?
Top Cow was so when Image was created, each one of the top 5 had their own little branch off, right? You had Awesome Entertainment, which was Liefeld's, right? Am I wrong about that? I think Awesome was Liefeld's. Wildstorm was Jim Lee's. Top Cow was Silvestri's.
Carnage 14 looks badass. The Stadium Venom.
What else was there? Was there any more?
Nice.
I can't remember.
Skybound was Kirkman then?
Yeah.
Skybound's always been Kirkman. Yeah. I can't remember if there's any more. There might have been, but I can't remember them. So yeah,
Silvestri's Top Cow did a lot of the Tomb Raider stuff out of the 90s, if I remember right.
Yeah, because they did Witchblade.
Oh,
that's a cool.
What about
cover
the
right
Transformer G.I. Joe stuff coming out with Image this week?
Void Rivals.
Yeah, that's
the biggest book of the week. So the thing about Void Rivals, and I'm gonna drop people. You got to be paying attention, you guys. This is where you get the real cornbread. All right, so we talked about the the G.I. Joe Transformer stuff with Void Rivals, and we showed off the 1 in 100 the other day. The 1 in 100 has Jetfire or Skyfire on the cover. Okay. No Transformer or G.I. Joe is on any of the other covers.
Yeah.
Right?
What is that? What Void Rival? Huh.
Yeah, Void Rivals. But here's the interesting thing, right? Check this out.
I might be into that.
Let me show you something here.
Ooh, Spider-Man 2099.
So that's kind of what I'm curious about is Void Rivals. Not a single cover, like for anybody not paying attention deeply to what's going on this week or last week. How is anybody going to know this is a Transformers G.I. Joe title?
Well, let me break something down for you guys, and I don't think a lot of people know this. Okay, if you do the math on all these, you realize that there's 1 in 100s. The 1 in 100s of Void Rivals, there's going to be 1,000 of them. Okay, 1,000 1 in 100s. So everybody's going after the 1 in 100s for good reason. It's going to have a Transformer. It's the only one with a Transformer on the cover. Okay. So 1 in 100 Transformer on the cover. There's 1,000 of them. Well, if you want to play like the lowest print run, there's your lowest print run. The Virgin variant of Clutch and Wanted Comics, Maria the Wolf cover only has 500 copies. So if you want to play the lowest print run out of all the covers, you're going after the Maria Wolf Virgin variant, only 500. If you're going after probably the best cover, you want to go after the 1 in 100 because it has the Transformer on it. Those are my two plays for Void Rivals.
So to educate those of us, like especially me, and kind of bring us up to speed, is this the flagship title or the leadoff title after IDW lost G.I. Joe and Transformers and Image picked it up? This is how Image is bringing us Transformers and G.I. Joe.
Yes.
Now that they have it. So why are 95% of the covers not GI? Everybody's gonna walk right past this shit in the LCS.
There's a reason for all of this, Andy, right? Hold on here. Storm.
While you're doing that, did anyone see Transformers or planning to see it? Man, I heard that thing was the best Transformer movie ever.
Hold on 1 second here. So the reason why that they're doing that, Andy, is because they can't. Okay, so the movie came out, right? Beast Wars came out. Let me get off this cover so people can see this. All right. Here's the cover B. By the way, Bird City's got a Virgin variant of cover B, so be on the lookout for that one too. All right, so at the same time that this Void Rivals is being dropped, what movie is being dropped? Transformers Beast Wars. Mm-hmm. What happens at the end of Beast Wars?
Don't know yet. Don't spoil it.
Well, it's already been spoiled.
No, it hasn't. I haven't done it.
Yeah, don't they tease the Hasbro universe?
You got it. So they tease the Joes. The guy hands him a card and says, "I would love for you to be part of my crew," or something like that. And on the card it says G.I. Joe. So they can't, it's all a ride up to this. So this final page on this ends showing the Transformers. That final page is the 1 in 100 cover.
So this is 95% filler. That's just a story of something that's not related, leading into it's a kickoff.
It's telling us how the whole universe. It's a kickoff. It's 100% a kickoff. It says on this. So if you look at the hold on here.
Who would have thought there'd be a time when the Transformer fan and G.I. Joe fan come together in a union, bonded. There was always two sides. You're either a G.I. Joe fan or a Transformers fan. It seemed like you had one side or the other. I was Transformers.
So have you ever heard of the Full Force show YouTube channel? Full Force. So they do a bunch of cool G.I. Joe stuff. They leaked this. Let me show you. Here's the 1 in 100, by the way. Pretty dope. They leaked. Where is it? This. Is it this? A leaked poster gives us more details on a new shared universe. Discover Robert Kirkman and Skybound's all-new Transformers and G.I. Joe shared universe today with Void Rivals. So there you go. So we're getting G.I. Joe 1, and we're getting, here it is, Transformers #1 on sale October 2023. Duke #1 on sale December 2023. Cobra Commander #1 on sale January 2024.
Interesting.
I want Skyfire on the cover.
That's the one. The 1 in 100 has him on the cover.
That's the one. That's the one that's coming out this week.
No, this isn't the 1 in 100. The 1 in 100 is.
It's almost like a throwback to the old. Was it Sienkiewicz cover?
There's your 1 in 100.
Oh.
So,
yes, I like when they make the trench look all gritty like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's what we're getting.
That's going to be my new thing right there.
And listen, I've been saying it since the beginning that I want a gritty G.I. Joe universe. I want Tarantino writing the G.I. Joe movie. I want Robert Kirkman writing the G.I. Joe comic. And at least we got Robert Kirkman writing the G.I. Joe comic.
So we're gonna get a movie with both of them. That's gonna be
I don't know if we're gonna get a Tarantino G.I. Joe movie. I'm just saying that would be nice.
The movie with the two
together.
franchises together.
Yeah, this just seems like a very interesting way to kick this off, and I'm looking forward to reading it. I just feel like 60-70% of comic readers are gonna walk right by this and glance it, and I don't see a single cover there that really like sparks my interest to check out Void Rivals. That's like it's like the community that's here that's paying attention obviously is excited about it.
Shit. Comic shop workers are gonna have to do their fucking jobs.
Well,
you mean stand there and wait for people to buy books? I mean,
and tell them, yo, this that new Transformer shit.
To show me a comic shop where you walk in and people are actually selling the content within the comic book. That doesn't happen.
Third Eye Comics does a good job of it.
Well, that's what you want, though, right? I mean, you want that because when it goes crazy, everyone's like, "When does it come out?" And you're like, "Aha! I have it," and you did not. Yeah. Therefore, it becomes El Valuable. If that's what your thing is, I just like a good story, and I like Transformers. My favorite thing to Venom is Transformers. I love Transformers.
Yeah,
and that's the deal with the movie. So the movie, like the graphics and stuff like that, were very similar to like the beginning of Bumblebee. You saw Bumblebee at the beginning. It was very like they slowed down the action, so where it's a lot more detailed. Where McClay was just like explosions and big things, and it was a lot fast moving, so you couldn't see what was going on. They slowed this one down. And you can see the detailed, intricate parts of the Transformer, and it was more toward Generation 1, the first gen. Bots and stuff like that. So that's on my list to see. I haven't seen Spider-Verse. I haven't seen Transformers. I think I'll see Transformers probably before I see Spider-Verse.
No, so the book isn't about Transformers or G.I. Joes. It's about something that leads into that. It's it's an opening volley within the universe. Yeah. It's just I don't see this as being interesting to Transformers and G.I. Joe fans that aren't in the know of what's going to be happening. The average Joe Schmo walking through there's probably just going to walk by this and they're either going to grab it because it's an image number 1, or they're going to grab it because there's something that might spark their interest. But like, I see the greater bulk of people just not paying attention to this, in my opinion. And I hope I'm wrong.
I agree with you, dude. I agree with you.
I hope I'm wrong. This just seems like a very interesting way to kick this off. So,
well, why is it that you want people? Why is it because you're scared that they won't? Because people won't know that they won't.
Because John Q. Average Public judges a book by its cover and walks right past this. Very few people stop, pick up a book off the shelf, flip through it, and then decide to buy a book. They have a pull list. They order through previews based on the cover. People shop with their eye when they walk through the store. So this
but it's like only issue number 1, bro. It's only issue number 1.
And isn't that kind of what you want? Like I was saying, like because if down the road, like in 2 or 3 issues, it becomes more apparent what that is. They're going to want to go back at the beginning and then be like, "Oh, I remember seeing that, but now I can't find it."
Oh, they'll be able to find it in dollar bins. They're going to print the shit out of this.
What do you mean they're going to be able to find it in dollar bins? You don't know that yet. This could be the greatest book of all time.
That's where I buy all my Star Wars stuff in 6 months from now.
Invincibles.
Hey, why are you hating on this?
I don't know.
I'm not, Andy. I'm not hating on it. I'm just saying that the cycle of modern comic books
sound like you hating. Sound like you hating.
I'm hating a little bit. The cycle of modern comic books from Wednesday to tanking to nothing in a couple of weeks, it's so fast. Attention spans are extremely short and people forget things. I'm hating a little bit. Moving on.
So, Void Rivals, check it out.
This is the gut ghost of 2023.
Yeah. We're gonna put a pin in that for 2 weeks. We'll revisit it in a few weeks and see what the numbers say.
Moving along.
I think you should look at it in the fall, though, when those other issues start coming
out. Absolutely.
I'm not saying anything else about it. We'll come back to it.
This is amazing right here. Ooh. One of my all-time favorite Frazetta covers, paintings ever right here. Great call, Ryan Adams. Good stuff.
What about the Star Wars books coming out? Darth Vader's coming out. Sana Staros is coming out. Were there any good covers out of that? I have not looked yet.
I do like that. Something's coming shown in pen and ink.
Ooh, I love me some Afra covers.
Vecchio. And a variant for that. What was the one you were saying, Wood?
There's I don't know if it's out this week or not, but Bryan also mentioned in the chat that something's killing shown in the pen and ink. So it's all black and white, and it's got like a blue cover on it.
All right, let's go take a
It's
look.
got front and back.
Oh, there you go. So they're re-releasing the story.
That's cool.
Yeah, the back, there's a cover, like there's art on the back cover too that looks pretty cool. Like it could be its own cover.
Yeah. Interesting. There's a Schmalky Third Eye variant. And then sketch covers. Here's the Ultraviolet Spot variant. That's interesting. Huh. What the hell is up with these damn advertisements? Drive me crazy. It's going to kill me. Star Trek is for nerds. And here's a Star Wars Insider.
Star Trek is for nerds, but man, those incentive variants always sell out.
That's foil, by the way, right there.
Oh, man.
Foil.
Yeah. Yeah, they sell out on those books because they are short print run, I believe, right? Let's
Yeah.
see how many variants are it's IDW, yeah. Spider-Man India #1 is coming out. Nice little play on that. Is there any good variants?
Capitalizing on the Spider-Verse movie with that.
That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny right there. Damn ads. There's the animation variant right there. That's nice. That's really nice. What were you asking? What do you think they're capitalizing on that? Yeah, hell yeah. You should be. Sanastaros.
Is there a 1 in 25 for that? Probably not. No, issue 5.
No. There's the foil for that. Spot variant for that. We already looked at that. Battle Chasers got a bunch
That's
of
one of the
variants.
top. That's one of the top 3 covers of the week, in my opinion. Bird City killed it with that.
They had 2 of them. They had this one and this one. Good job, Bird City.
I wonder if that's still available.
I doubt it. Batman Incorporated, Black Panther. That one's really good. The Void Rivals. That one's good. What else do we got?
Oh, it's sold out. It did sell out. Dang it.
Don't give in to the FOMO within.
Well, I mean, Bird City, Wanted Comics, Comic Corner. There's a few retailers that I'll support wholeheartedly because they continue to give back to the community wholeheartedly. If I say that 5 times fast. So there are some variants. Like I don't do a lot of exclusive buying, but from the Comic Corner, from Wanted Comics, and from Bird City Comics, and I'm sure McClay will remind me of the other 2. Hive Comics. Gotta list Hive Comics too. I support them.
That's interesting right there. Well, you guys can go pick up those Void Rivals variants tomorrow, Wednesday. A couple will be for sale on Wanted's website. This is there's some great covers for this X23 right here too. This is the regular cover. That's amazing. That's really, really good, man.
Could we potentially be picking up Image Comics as early as Tuesday now, considering that you can get Image through both Diamond and Penguin?
Probably.
I wonder if that's going to be a shop to shop.
Penguin or Lunar? Are they going through Penguin?
I thought it was Penguin.
Are you sure?
I think it's Lunar because isn't DC Lunar, and that's why it's Tuesday?
Yeah. I think it's Lunar.
Sorry.
Yeah,
my bad.
Yeah,
but then
which is basically in that DCBS. Wasn't Lunar like DCBS? I forget. And the other one was Midtown, but I don't know.
Do they leave that up to the individual shop then to decide to sell those books early if they get them in early like DC books? They didn't have to sell DC early, but they made that change, 2 years ago? I'm going to ask my LCS tomorrow.
It was right when COVID.
Andy. Give us the intel.
See what happens.
All right.
Who knows? Who knows?
There's new comic book day, huh?
Yeah.
That just leaves us with
one
more thing.
Double up.
Pretty bow.
Yeah, there's buttons.
Pretty bow. What do you got, Andy?
Our one more thing is we're attending Heroes Con this weekend. We're getting pumped. We're getting amped. And we'll continue on with the schedule as we normally do. There's probably going to be a little bit quiet on the social media chatters. We have some family events to attend to right after Heroes Con, so it'll be kind of quiet for us. We lost a close family member suddenly a few days ago, tragically. So the services for that will be next week. So Tuesday. We'll be back Tuesday for sure, but our one more thing is Heroes Con is coming up, and I'm flying down first thing Friday morning for that.
There we go. Come hang out with us on Thursday nights for the podcast. UFO news has been crazy lately. For those of you guys that didn't know, high-ranking intelligence official dropped some major bombs this week on the UFO front. And if you want more information on that, hang out with us Thursday nights live on the podcast.
Well, pardon me. So I did a challenge. Sorry, I kind of swallowed.
There he is. You froze right as you said, pardon me.
Fart me? Oh. So I did did a show with the football card quest yesterday. I'm currently doing a challenge. We're going to try to list 100 cards in 2 weeks under the eBay store. So it's a challenge that he and I are doing together. We invited some of the different people that were in the chat. Anyone on the chat is welcome to do it if you have a football cards or any kind of sports cards. I know McClay, you have sports cards. But we're going to try to do 100 cards and get back together 2 weeks from yesterday and see if we're able to complete the task or not. The Rhynoverse store on eBay will be have a plethora of new things going up in the football world. So if you're a football card collector, you can check out all the stuff going to be putting up there. I opened up 2 boxes of Optic in the process of doing my third. Picking up my select box tomorrow, and I'll have a second one on the way as well. So I only collect Falcons, so everything else that comes up pretty much goes up on the store. So check out Rhynoverse on there. I'll be dual streaming the show in 2 weeks. I was going to try to do it last night. I couldn't figure it out, but I'll do it in 2 weeks for sure. So, yeah.
Wow. 3 Rivers dropping some crazy information in the chat, man.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. Wow.
Yeah, one more thing. Summertime. Looking forward to summer vacation. I'm heading down to south to Tampa Thursday. Excited for that. I don't know if I'm more excited to see my dad or if I'm just more excited to see Buc-ee's. Of course, Buc-ee's getting some good food. My kid looks forward to getting beef jerky, but it should be a fun road trip. And then, of course, St. Pete, some beaches, some pew at the gun range. But yeah, I'm ready for a break from work. And then, I don't know if you guys follow MLS, but if you're an Inter Miami fan, good Lord, their tickets just went way up in price because they just signed this one soccer player, Lionel Messi. So, but yeah, and U.S. plays Mexico Thursday night, 10 p.m. Paramount Plus Eastern Time. But other than that, I don't have much else, man. I'm looking forward to Buc-ee's, looking forward to vacation, looking forward to not working with an out of office that says no access to email.
Ooh.
Yes. And with that, we will see you guys next week. Boogie bow!
Double up, double up, double up. The money I call up, call up, call up, call up, call up, call up, call up. Excuse me while I change. The roller boogie has made me sweaty. Yeah, sweaty.